Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is your daily go getterism number 829 for January 9th, 2017. Tonight I want to talk to y'all about, we're going to take it back in the day. We're going to talk about when you got a bad report card and how slow you will walk home when you got a bad report card. Now, I know a lot of y'all was probably really, really good in every grade in school, whatever. I knew some people when I went to college that had never failed a test, never did bad in the class or whatever. So I'm not really talking to y'all about this example, but you might be able to relate to the example that I do use. But take it back in the day. Take it all the way back in the day. Maybe you were lazy with your schoolwork, whether you were in elementary school or whether you were in middle school, junior high, high school, whatever. Whenever it was that you started to fall off a little bit, maybe started to play hooky, fell victim to peer pressure, just didn't want to do your work because you were unfocused or whatever. What would happen is you got bad marks on your report card. You got a bad report card, and you know how it was when your parents are really, really serious about your schoolwork, about your grades and everything, and they've been checking on you, but they haven't been checking on you as good as you need to be checked on because you've been lying to them. So they've been asking you about your homework. You've been saying that you don't have any homework. They've been asking you where your books are. You've been saying that you left your books in school or whatever. So you've been messing up, and now everything is coming to a head, and now you have to face the music. So you have this bad report card, and you have to take this report card home to your parents. A lot of times when people get that bad report card, they would take the longest way home as possible because they didn't want to face that music. They didn't want to face that ass whooping. They didn't want to serve that punishment, being grounded for weeks or whatever, being on restriction. Some people got their ass whooped and got put on punishment. And that's not something that you wanted. So in order to stave off that punishment for as long as possible, people will be walking home slow, and I mean slow, trying to figure out a way that they could talk their way out of it. Trying to figure out a way that they could outsmart or get their parents not to be as angry as they were going to be because of people just be disrespecting the studio. But yeah, trying to get their parents not to be as angry as they know that they're going to be because they've been lying to their parents. They have been doing bad in school. They've been slacking off. They've been doing everything except what they were brought up to do, except for what they were taught to do, except for what they were trained to do. And it's a problem. Oh, man. Okay. Now, if you really think about it, if you took all of that time to, like the time that you're taking to outsmart your parents, that you come up with something clever in order to be excused from this ass whooping, this restriction, this punishment that you're going to get, if you took your time to put that much thought into your schoolwork and that much concentration into your studies, then you would probably have a pretty good report card instead of this really messed up report card that you're scared of. But what we're really talking about is we're not really talking about getting bad marks. What we're talking about is how people handle when they get in trouble. Like, maybe when we got a bad report card, we took the long way home because we didn't want to face the music. And maybe when we're adults, when we get in trouble, when we mess up, when we make mistakes, when we do something and it doesn't work out right, when we fail, when we get ourselves in trouble, do we take the long way home metaphorically, figuratively? Do we take the long way to trying to rectify the problem, trying to confront the problem, admitting guilt, admitting wrong, whatever? Do we do that? Do we do that up front and say, listen, I messed up, I'm really, really sorry, I'm going to let the cards fall where they may? Do we do that, or do we say, I don't know. I don't think I want to face that, so I'm not gonna bring up the subject. And if they don't bring up the subject, then it's never gonna get talked about. Do we try to change this subject? Do we avoid the person that we have the problem with, or that we have messed over, or whatever? Do we do that? There are a lot of things that we might do that we know that we're not supposed to do, but do we take the long way home when we get that bad report card? Ask yourself, do you confront your problems when they come? Or do you try to find a way to get out of it? Try to find a way to get excused. Find some type of reason why you shouldn't be punished, or why you should get an extension, or why you know, try to find out some type of exit strategy to give yourself another chance when you really messed up the first or second chance. What do you do? Choline, baby. This will keep you right. But it's a natural thing for all living things to try to avoid pain and try to maximize pleasure. The problem really comes when the things that we believe gives us our pleasure really gets us into a lot of trouble and causes a lot of pain for us. Now, when you think about when you have to face the music of something that you've done, sometimes it could be as simple as just giving an apology, admitting that you did something wrong. You know, just saying sorry and giving a sincere apology. A lot of times that'll get you right out of trouble. But some of us have too much pride to the point where we can't do that. Particularly in situations where we may have been right all these other times. Whether we were right just because we were cheating, or whether we were right because we were really right. And now somebody else is getting their just desserts. In other words, they are getting a chance to be able to exact revenge on us. And all it really is that instead of them being wrong this time, and they actually may have been wrong, may have been right a whole lot of other times, but instead of them being wrong this time, they're right and they know it. And we don't want to face that because we want to keep that winning streak going. It's really very, very childish. It's not a mature thing to do. It's not a mature way to be. But we do it. And we do it because, pride, ego. We talked about that yesterday. That's one of the ways that ego gets you in trouble. But do you take the long way home? Do you take the long way home when you have that bad report card? In other words, when you get yourself in trouble, when you have messed up, when you've made a bad mistake, when you have totally fucked up, do you go ahead and apologize, say I'm sorry, make the apology, and try to pay the restitution or whatever? Do you try to get it over with quick, or do you try to prolong it? Do you try to avoid it? Do you try to play games and tricks and lie and duck and make excuses and cause delays and what's that? And run interference, that type of thing. Run a screen, you know? It says a lot about our character when we are unable to confront the issues, especially when we're dead wrong. Ask yourself, why would I not say sorry? Why wouldn't I apologize when I'm dead wrong? But we don't always do it. We take the long way home. Maybe I'll try to change this E to a B. You know, remember that? You know, you get a bad report card. You get an E or an F. You can change an F to a B. So if you get an E or an F, you can change that to a B. That was back in the days when your grades were written in ink. And that was also back in the days when you physically held your report card. None of this internet stuff. So it is what it is, man. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, really, what's the point in taking the long way home? You can take the long way home in order to get your thoughts right. But what I would suggest is that you take the long way home as far as getting your head right, getting your apology straight, making sure that you humble yourself, making sure that you don't add more fuel to the fire when you make this apology. or when you try to make amends, or when you try to pay this restitution. Instead of trying to blame somebody else, take the onus off yourself, take away the blame from yourself, run interference or cause a screen. Instead of doing all of that, take that long way home to make sure that you get in touch with your sincerity, that you're going to get it right and start all over again. You can't be afraid to start all over again, yo. A lot of people are afraid of starting over. Don't be afraid of that shit. It's going to be alright, homie. It really is. It's going to be alright. The Daily Go Getimism show is every single day, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Call-in number is 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. blogtalkradio.com/Sun752. Peace. I'll holler at y'all later. Taking a long way home, man. You know what I'm saying?